holiday.
But wasn't the child healed?
Yeah.
Yes, afterwards he was running around like that, normal to school. Maar stel me uit en ek weet nie wat om te doen en ek sê truth, but it's gonna heal, maybe it's doing the toxins.
Ja, maar dat kan ook baie gebrand wat ek groot maar my wagter.
Okay, hello everybody. So today we are going to start with some information about arthritis and inflammation mainly. We'll find out what inflammation is about. We'll learn about some arthritis and some gout. And yeah, so that you can maybe try and manage those issues at home or help someone that has those issues. So firstly, what is inflammation? Inflammation is when there's a toxin in the area, okay, and it causes swelling. Now, inflammation is your body's response to anything that shouldn't be there or anything that's causing pain or problems or so forth. So when the swelling occurs, that is the rush of blood is going to the area. Now the blood is filled, as you know, it's got white blood cells, red blood cells, so it's got oxygen. Oxygen also heals. And then it's got your white blood cells with all your antibodies and all your fighting things, and then it's filled with nutrients as well. So when there is a problem, your body will, like for example, if you have a cut, it will start swelling or get red. That is your body's response to what has happened. So now the blood is rushing to the area, and so now healing can take place. So when inflammation occurs, it's a good thing. Okay, just like a fever, it's a good thing because blood is rushing to the area so that it can heal, and then it's taking the toxins away to your lymphatic system. Okay, so the only time inflammation is not good is if it's for prolonged periods. If it carries on too long, then there's a bigger problem. Then there's a more serious problem, then either you need to go, and what you're doing is not working, then you need to go and see a doctor or whatever the case may be. But inflammation, like fever, is a good thing. It is your body trying to heal itself. Okay, so you can then aid it by doing certain things. Now, inflammation is a response, but most things you need to start trying to treat it from the inside. Okay, so what you eat and what you consume is very important. I didn't bring the anti-inflammatory tea, but there's a tea now that you can make. So what you use is ginger, turmeric, pepper, and honey.
Kind pepper.
No, black pepper and honey. So I'm going to speak about what each one is. So turmeric contains curcumin. Now curcumin is an active ingredient that is a very strong antibiotic, and it's a strong anti-inflammatory, and it's a strong antioxidant. Okay? But the problem is that turmeric is not absorbed readily or easily into the blood. So that is why you need black pepper. Now black pepper has an active insider called pepperin. And pepperin is what activates the curcumin and it makes it bioavailable, which means that it can also be absorbed by the body up to 2,000%. Okay, so it really boosts the activity of curcumin in the turmeric. So you have to always drink or take or use turmeric with black pepper. But you don't need a lot, just a dash or whatever, depending on what your ratios are. But please always use the two together, otherwise you are wasting the turmeric and it's pointless. Because your body cannot absorb it properly in the form that it is in. Okay? Then we have the ginger, and as you know, ginger is a strong anti-inflammatory, and it promotes it stops the chemicals that actually cause the inflammation process. So for example, if you're having joint pain, there's certain chemicals that will cause that pain and the swelling and so forth. Now, the ginger will help stop that, okay? And then it will help reduce the pain, it will help reduce inflammation, and it will help reduce disability, which means that you can now use your limbs or whatever the case may be. And then honey is also an anti-inflammatory. It's a strong everything. It's very healthy for you. It's got amazing healing properties. It also relieves pain as well. So when you're making a little tea from that, you can just combine all those ingredients and then just add water. If you have diabetes, try not to use honey.
Yes.
Okay, because it's going to push your sugar up. But if you still want to just a little, okay, but yeah. Like at our last health expo where we did this very workshop, there were some people that were diabetics and we had given the tea before we started the talk. So by the time they went to check their blood pressure and diabetes and whatever, it was like sky high and it was like, oh my goodness. So now just beforehand, always just check if you are bad diabetic, try not to use the honey. But those ingredients really work. So now you are creating that anti-inflammatory response on the inside. So you're trying to heal from the inside already. Now you will then work on the outside. Okay, so like I mentioned before, inflammation is a good thing. But you also need to know how to manage it. So if inflammation occurs longer than 5 days, you need to go and see somebody about it if what you are doing is not helping. Okay? Now, inflammation will normally be it will normally be a swollen area with lots of pain, or movement is not that great. It's difficult to move and so forth. That's normally how inflammation looks. Yeah. So now, how do you control inflammation? The physiotherapists use the RICE technique. RICE is an acronym. It stands for R is for active rest, I is for ice, C is for compression, and E is for elevation. So the active rest means if your wrist is inflamed or sore or swollen or whatever, then you need to rest your wrist. But you can still move because you need to get active and you need to get your body going, and so that the blood can flow. Okay, because the blood is part of the healing. So rest the sore part, but continue. It doesn't mean you now can't do anything. Continue working and doing what you need to do. Ice, you need to put the area in ice or put ice packs on it for 5 to 10 minutes. This will cause constriction. Okay? Then you need to do compression. Now, I don't know if you've seen, but some people have that band, band thing, a compression band. So it's like tight around the area. Okay, so that also helps with the whole process. I'll explain now. And then elevation, you need to keep it higher than the level of your heart, so that the toxins can flow out of that and then into the lymphatic system and then flow back. Okay, because lower than your heart is not healthy. Okay. So what you do with the hot, and the reason why you need to use the ice is because yes, there's heat. So normally, for example, if you have arthritis, you would first soak it in hot water, as hot as possible, for 3 minutes, then 3 to 5 minutes. Then you would soak it in cold water, as cold as possible, for 30 seconds. The reason why you do hydrotherapy of hot and cold is because hot, you want to get the blood rushing to the area. And then the cold, you want to constrict the blood vessels so that it's pulling away the toxins from the area and into the lymphatic system. So this is the same process with the rice technique. So you are putting on, because it's hot already and so forth, you are now putting on an ice pack to constrict the blood vessels, and then when you put on the compression, that restricts it even further. So it's pulling out the toxins and taking it to the lymphatic system, but also the compression also aids in the pain. Okay, so you know when there's a lot of blood, it's throbbing and it's painful, but when it's constricted, the throbbing can't happen, so it lessens the pain as well. So these are things you need to try to do, and then obviously the elevation as explained before, depending on where the inflammation is and so forth. So now we're going to explain the different types of inflammation. So you get normal inflammation, which is if an accident occurs, a cut or whatever, as the heat response or the swelling and so forth. But now you have gout and you have arthritis. They are different things. Okay. So arthritis is normally if your joints or something, they have lost their synovial fluid, or they have a mechanical breakdown due to overuse, or you have an autoimmune disease, or drugs, or a degenerative disease, or your lifestyle as well. So all those factors contribute to arthritis. Okay? And then gout is normally episodes of pain at the same spot, and that is normally caused by a buildup of uric acid. And uric acid normally comes from your diet and stress. So you need to try to avoid foods that have pyruvate in it. Okay, so and try and drink a lot of water to flush out and break down the uric acid. So any
Pyruvate, where do you find those? Uric acid? Oh, it's uric acid.
Peruvian acid.
no, it's uric acid.
Okay.
Uric acid. But when you check food labels or when you look for foods that have pyruvic acid, that is what you try and avoid. So like alcohol, anything that's acidic, chips, you know, sweet things and that type of thing. Red meat, those types of things contain pyruvic acid.
Okay.
Okay.
And sorry, people that add salt to their food?
Yes, so normal table salt is bad, as we mentioned before, because those two, potassium and what is the other thing? Sodium.
So yes.
That combination is extremely toxic to the body when used together. You need to use all the nutrients in salt, which is 84 to 98, sorry, depending on the type of salt. So normal table salt is not good. It also builds up uric acid. It also causes high blood pressure and all the other things because it's toxic. So it's not good for you. But when you start drinking the Himalayan salt, it also helps break down the uric acid. And it will obviously, you know, get all your other functions going properly and so forth.
Cindy, sorry, there is a salt that is 50, what do they call it, 50% or something like that. Less, not less, but it's more of a healthy salt. That you buy because it's got 50% less of something. I don't know. I think
I would say don't
go for it.
Don't subscribe to that. It's just a gimmick, marketing ploy to get you to
Okay,
buy.
and they're usually more expensive
Yes,
than
but
the
how much
normal
more?
salt. Well, a small tub costs about 46 rand or something like that.
Wow.
Then you rather go for the Himalayan salt, all the sea salt.
Okay.
You get different types of salt, but please not that it's been measured out 50% and that no. It have to be a natural vitamin salt. You have to read the package before you buy it.
Okay.
Stick to the pure thing. Don't be lured by the
Don't you
media.
fake with Fabiani.
Yeah, the dietitian actually recommended that, so you
Oh,
know,
okay.
there we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Did they say why?
Because you've got to, because of high blood pressure, you've obviously got to cut down on salt. but the dietitian didn't speak about Himalayan salt, rather this salt that is much more expensive. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just want to clarify that.
So people sometimes have agendas. I know a friend who's selling X, so I'm going to promote his.
Yes.
Sometimes, I don't know, it can be.
Can be that as well.
That's all I know.
Yeah, it's also like the pharmaceutical industry. They want you to buy their product. So they are going to get the doctors to push you to have to use this and you have to use that, and then that causes a secondary complication and you must use more, and so you become slaves to the pharmaceutical industry. Whereas if you try to go natural, you can try and wean yourself off. You might not be able to get off it completely, but at least you can try and start living a healthier life, you know, more natural. Because I mean, the natural things are what God has given us to live optimally, healthily. Okay, so gout also, lots of alcohol can cause gout. Genetics is also one of the things that causes gout, and menopause as well. Okay, because menopause disrupts your balance and cause all kinds of things. So diets that you need to avoid for gout is meat, shellfish, liver, brains, kidneys, etc. So basically meat in general is not a good thing. And obviously alcohol and so forth. But try and just eat a plant-based diet, healthier diet, and yeah. Okay, so how you control these different gout and arthritis is, as I mentioned before. Gout, you don't need to use hot water. You can just use the cold compress. Okay, so the 3 to 5 minutes of cold pack on the gout periodically. What you can do is maybe once a week. You can soak it in the hot water just to get the blood to the area and then use the cold. Okay, but mainly gout, you use the cold compress or the cold pack and so forth. And then you do massaging so that you can get the blood into the area. And I'm going to show you now how to do that massaging. And then the same with arthritis. You also use the massaging. It's called effleurage. And effleurage is basically a nice word to say you're just doing simple massaging techniques. It's very simple, just to get the blood to the area. Because the whole concept, as I mentioned before, is healing is in the blood. You need to get the blood to the area so that it can take the toxins away from the area. That is the whole concept of everything. Okay? So that is what you do. You use the rice technique with gout and arthritis. But gout you use the cold mainly. Arthritis you will use the hot and the cold because you need to induce inflammation sometimes with arthritis. So that the blood can come to the area and then be taken away. So you need to do hot and cold with arthritis. Okay, gout is cold, arthritis hot and cold. And then you can use balms and so forth that also deal with the muscle pain and all of that. You can also put on the ginger, because like I said, ginger is for joints. So you can put the ginger poultice on. And then the potato poultice for the skin, because now when the ginger gets hot, as Uncle David explained with his experience, his skin got so hot because you're drawing the inflammation out of the joints into the tissue. So the tissue will start getting hot. And then you can put the potato on the tissue to cool it out, but to draw the inflammation out of the tissue of the skin. So that is also what you can do, and then you can use, salves and so forth that aid with arthritis and gout and so forth. So I've made a balm. It's called Eden's Balm, and it's got all the anti-inflammatory things in there, like ginger and turmeric and pepper, and it's got a little bit of it's got things like menthol and wintergreen and so on. So, and eucalyptus, yes. So it not only will give the nutrients that the area needs to heal, but it will also help fight the inflammation and the easing and pain of the tissues. So this is not only for gout and arthritis, it's for any muscle pain. Okay, whether it's osteoporosis or anything, or just plain muscle pain because you overdid it, it works, as Henry can attest to. It really does work. It does work nicely in conjunction with a heat pack, so I sell it in a combo as well. The heat pack is scented with sandalwood, which has an aromatherapeutic effect. So when you're heating that, the sandalwood then is activated, which works with the ingredients of the balm, which will bring a more holistic healing concept. Okay, so whenever you are using any type of ointment, try and use it with a heat pack, because that will just improve the availability of the ingredients into the muscle to make it work better and faster and so forth.
How much is the combo pack?
It's different sizes, so the small one is 28 mils, and that on its own is 50 rand, but with the pack it's 100 rand. The big one is 123 mils, on its own it's 170. In the combo pack, because it's got a big heat pack, scented heat pack, it's 250.
I wanted to ask this question. I know a sister, I know her for years, and now relatively see her now with this. She like technique's gone bad because she can't even sometimes sleep at night because of the pain of the gout of the feet. Sometimes she can't even wear shoes or she can't even walk. So I was just now thinking of her because I would like her to come to your session so you can explain to her what she can do according to the gout of her feet. And it's
the thing, unfortunately, is that not everything works for everybody. So like the lady that helps me, so she also has terrible gout. And we've tried different things and it doesn't work for her. So you need to try different methods until you find the one that works for you. Because not everything is going to work for everybody.
But I would also add that if you don't change your diet or
I also think of that too.
together.
Yeah, it can also be of the sweetness, the food types that you are eating.
People don't stop their diet.
That no, they
the
don't.
way they used to eat.
Yeah, and I mean, it is really, it's
Can I
all part
ask
of my life.
another question? Sorry, I'm just going back. Honey. There is so many types of honey. How do we know which one is the honey?
The best is
Because
the
the old
raw
one.
one.
Because the old lady one day I was standing at and I said to her, and she overheard, and I said, no, which one? And she said, turn the pot around. And if you see a big bubble coming up, then you know that is the one.
Raw, yeah.
I'm not sure.
No,
Yes, because the consistency is thicker, so it will form an air bubble. Whereas the more liquidy or viscous it is, that's more like Illovo or something.
Yes, when you get that crystal and it's stand at the time and then you see, oh my word, it's getting all sugar, you can see the sugar.
However, honey does
Yes,
crystallize.
it does crystallize, but sometimes you can see
It's the
there's a
different,
difference in
it's
it.
different, like if it's a canola honey,
Yeah.
it's the different, is the honey, the bees eat the different stuff.
Yes,
It's
you
where
get
they-
different
where, yeah,
types of
no,
honey,
yes.
depending on
mountain
what
honey, yes,
the
what the
bees are
bees
fed,
eat.
like
Yes.
you get eucalyptus honey, you get
Yes.
Different types of honey because
yeah.
we use
Yes.
orange, we use the raw one.
So are they
And the
all
raw
honey?
one.
They are all honey,
Yeah,
those
all
are
honey,
just
but it's
flavors
just
based
different, yeah.
on what the bees are fed.
Fed, yes.
But you need to, it needs to say raw
Raw
honey.
I mean, it have to say raw honey.
And when it's cheap, be a bit
But careful.
Yeah,
very
the fake
careful.
honey don't crystallize.
Yeah.
The
I
fake
saw
honey
now
don't
at the
crystallize.
Sumerians is selling honey for 25 rand. I asked him, how much is that? He said
No,
25
that is-
and then I look at that
fake.
label. why isn't this honey crystallizing? Because it's standing on the shelf. Something is wrong. And even the raw honey, if it goes thick, it doesn't make crystals.
It does.
It just comes thick.
It does
It
half
doesn't
the
make like
time.
a,
It does, but it needs to stand for
Quite
quite
a
a
long
while.
time.
Couple of
Yes,
Just a few years.
What? Yeah,
Because
I know
honey can
that.
never go, pure honey can never go off.
Uh-huh.
They found honey in one of the Egyptian tombs.
Wow.
It was like thousands of
Thousands
years
years ago.
old, and it was fine because honey is a natural preservative.
Yes, it doesn't go off.
Doesn't go off. So, yeah. Okay, so now we are going. Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay. So now we are going to do effleurage. So effleurage is just basically, as I mentioned, it's basically just a soft massaging to get the blood flowing to the area.
Okay.
You do not touch any joints. Okay? Don't touch the joints at all. Because it might be swollen, it might be painful, and you might cause more damage.
Okay.
What you need to only be massaging is the skin or fleshy parts. Wherever there's tissue, that is where you massage because that's how the blood is going to get to the joints. Okay? So you start normally by the hands or the feet, and then you move up and you move in circular motions. Okay? Circular motions, softly like butterfly strokes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe can I? So you would put yourself on. Okay, rub it in first. Okay. And now to get the blood flowing and to get the mixture into the tissues, you then do soft little butterfly strokes like that.
So this is the other mistake people do.
Right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I please.
Yeah.
They think that they've got to.
Please, yeah.
Because this is not physiotherapy for an injury. This is
Just
arthritis,
massage.
which is a delicate situation. Because you don't want to cause more pain. You need to work gently, softly, and just speak and ask questions so that they get more relaxed. Because the more relaxed they are, the more the blood can flow. Because tensing also causes a barrier. Okay? And then you work. So don't touch the joints. Just the soft tissue parts, and then you move up. And you can do 10 to 15 minutes. That's all it takes.
Because I saw my mom's got it here. Yeah,
Yes.
this
So
area.
don't, if the hand is the painful part, don't massage there. Just massage around the painful part.
Okay.
So then for your mom, maybe start by the arm and move down. Okay, because you're trying to get the blood to the area where the problem is. Okay. And then just softly, gently, so that the blood can start flowing, so that they can be more relaxed, so that the nutrients can get into the joints and do its work. And at the same time, the massage, the balm is also starting to work as well, because you're massaging it in.
Okay. If you've got a back problem.
Okay, so if you've got a back problem or like that type of thing, then you do the normal heavy duty
Okay.
massage, because that problem is in the tissue, it's in the muscle.
You can feel the hardness.
Yeah, so then you look for the actual knob. So until you find the knob, then you press hard on the knob for a little while,
Yes.
release slowly, and then you start massaging hard around the area until you feel the knob is starting to get softer.
Okay.
In the like in the shoulder part.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
So I didn't do wrong last night when I.
Yeah, but we're not doing injuries. We're doing inflammatory for arthritis and gout. So for gout, the same thing. You would massage around the areas softly, so that the blood can get to where it needs to be and take the toxins into the lymphatic system. And so,
That's nice.
okay, so it doesn't need to be long, but that is basically, so I want you all to try and massage each other, 2-2, And then just a 2-minute thing, just to get used to how you need to do the technique, and I will come and see if you're doing it right.
Currently,
Is it fine?
Next month,
Oh, my, you see that?
Yes,
Massage you?
I